you had bad traits. You go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you pop, then you must do. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Chuck it on that one.
All right, never seen a cop's ride. I wonder how we're able to handle an 800-pound motorcycle with the ease of a child's toy. I'm going to show you exactly how it's done right here today. Notice how the motorcycle leans from side to side, how graceful it appears. That's because I'm riding this motorcycle the way it was designed to be ridden, using 3 simple techniques. These techniques are the exact opposite of your instincts. That's why you won't pick this up on your own. I don't care how many years you've been riding. Somebody's got to show you how it works and why. That's exactly what I'm going to do here today. Good riders should be able to make full lock turns, scrape a perfect circle on the ground with the pegs of the floorboards, still maintain complete control of the motorcycle. You hear that scraping sound? It should be music to your ears because it's telling you exactly how far you can lean that motorcycle. All right, I'm going to stop and talk to you, tell you what this is all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jerry, the Motorman Palladino.
Thank you very much. I get the feeling everybody's staring at me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jerry Palladino. I'm a motor officer instructor in Florida. I also write an article for Full Throttle magazine called Motorman's Tips, Tricks, and Techniques. Anybody read that article? A couple of fans at it. All right, I knew somebody was reading it. I also appear every week on the Born to Ride television show. I believe you get that up here now in Georgia. And I was recently in a movie called Hollows Point. It's one of those teenager slasher movies. I play a cop. But I think I did a good acting job. Anyway, I'm going to tell you what this is all about, folks, because I want you to know I wasn't born with these skills. It didn't just come to me one day. A lot of guys, when they're born, they think they know how to ride a motorcycle. They think they come down to shoot. The doctor hands them a set of keys to a cruiser and says, you could ride. The fact is, guys, when you were born, you were fat, you were bald. You were crapping in your pants and drooling. If you want to live long enough to go out of this world the same way you came in, you should learn how to ride that motorcycle. Somebody got that. All right. And I didn't always have these skills. They sent me up to Tallahassee, Florida, the agency I work for, to learn them. I trained with the Highway Patrol, the troopers, the guys that never give you a break. We got any troopers here? No? No troopers? Good. You know why troopers never give you a break? They work on commission. That's right. A lot of people don't know. 50% of the ticket right in the pocket. We got one back there? Yeah, he knows that. Next time trooper stops you, as he's writing that ticket, say, I know why you're giving me that ticket. You're on commission. They love when you say that. Yeah, try it. I was the only deputy in this class with 15 troopers, and the very first day, we're out in the parking lot, cones all over the place. One of these troopers yells attention, and they stood up in a straight line. I got in there with them. Here comes this guy. Looks like a drill sergeant on a brand new police bike, and he gets off the bike and he holds up the keys. He said, anybody here know how to ride a motorcycle? I looked up and down the line, nobody raised their hand, so I put my hand up. As soon as I did, I knew I made a terrible mistake. I knew because the trooper next to me said, you just made a terrible mistake. And this big guy walked right up to me, got in my face, he said, you know how to ride a motorcycle? Suddenly I turned into Gomer Pyle. I said, golly, Sarge, I know how to ride. He screamed at me, he said, you don't know nothing about riding a motorcycle. But you're going to know if you make it through this course. He was exactly right. I quickly found out the 20 years of experience I thought I had was really 1 year's experience, repeated 20 times. I made the same mistakes over and over again, but when I finished that course, I knew how to ride. And I said, everybody who rides a motorcycle should know these police motor officer techniques. And when I finished there, I started writing that article for Full Throttle magazine. I started a citizens class. And I remember when the magazine went national, I got a call from a guy out in California. He says, I want to come to your class on Sunday. He doesn't realize I'm in Florida. I said, where are you at? He says, San Francisco. Yeah, he said it like that. And I said, well, you're going to have to fly all the way to Tampa to take my class. And I knew that wasn't going to work, but he did say, will you be wearing those tight back black pants and those big boots? And as I started getting more of these calls, I realized I had to find a way to reach people, and that's when I came out with the first Ride Like a Pro video. We're now in version 5. This version includes everything from the first 4 plus much more. It's a simple procedure, 3 simple techniques. Now I'm going to go over this kind of quick because we just got a oh, we got just maybe 20 minutes together, and you'll kind of get the idea, but believe me, the DVD is much more detailed. By the way, it is now the #1 selling motorcycle video in the entire world, and that could only happen here in America. Anybody tells you the American dream is gone, don't believe me, because I'm living it. You can applaud, folks. Come on, this is America. You want to do something here in this country, you can do it. Ain't nobody going to stop you. All right, we're going to talk about low-speed handling because that's where everybody seems to have a problem. Anybody have a problem balancing the bike at 60 or 70 miles an hour? Put your hand up now. Good. Except for the guy back there with the beer. He said, yeah, I'm having a problem. But at low speeds, boy, gravity wants to pull you right to the ground. I'm going to show you how to defy gravity. It doesn't have to be that way. First technique is at low speeds, you want to use that friction zone. That's the area of the clutch between completely open and completely closed. At low speeds, you want to stay in that gray area. If you let the clutch out all the way, the slightest movement of the throttle causes the bike to leap ahead. You have much more control if you stay in the friction zone. Second technique is the proper use of the rear controlling brake. I say controlling because when you put a little pressure on the rear brake and at the same time put power to the rear wheel with the clutch and throttle, it makes the bike want to stand up rather than tip over. It can't tip over unless you release power. Here's the third, the most important technique. You will use this at every speed, is the proper use of your head and eyes. The further I turn my head and eyes, the tighter the turn I can make. It's the opposite of your instincts, but the reason for that is your hands will follow your eyes. Wherever I look, that's where this motorcycle will go. And I'll show you how to use that to the extreme. And the easiest way to figure this out is to start with what's commonly called the slow race. That's going to help you learn that friction zone and rear brake. Now, for our purposes, slow means about a quick walking pace. My wife is standing down there. That's Dr. Donna. If you read her stuff at Full Throttle, she has retired from that, but the reason she's standing down there is I'm going to focus on her face as I ride towards her, because my instincts are going to tell me if the bike gets a little unsteady to look down at the ground. If you look down, you go down. Instead, keep your head and eyes up, focus on something 100 yards or so in front of the bike, and never hit your front brake. At low speeds, when the handlebars are turned, it will pull you to the ground like a magnet. Instead, rely on your rear brake to help you control the bike. I got a little bit of pressure on that rear brake, head and eyes are up. I know I'm in the sweet spot because I can rev the motor without causing the bike to pick up speed. Now, if you're not sure if you're at proper training speed, what you want to do is have that person walk alongside the bike. When you get into a quick walker pace, that's proper training speed. I can get her up to 10, sometimes 12 miles an hour for short stretches, but that's just to keep her in shape. Doesn't help my abilities at all, and as you see, it's working very well. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes for the average person to figure out how dragging that rear brake can help. And once you get that down, you got to get over your fear of leaning the motorcycle. Since the motorcycle turns by leaning, the further I lean this bike, the tighter the turn I can make. And the easiest way to get over that fear, a little bit at a time, is to get yourself a big parking lot, have somebody stand in the center of it, and focus on that person's face as you begin circling around them. The reason you're focusing on the person's face is because, again, instinct is going to tell you when that bike starts to lean to look down. Don't do it. I'm telling you, it'll pull you right to the ground. Now, I know, guys, if you want to try this with an old riding buddy of yours, he might look like this guy over here. You don't want to look at his face. I understand that. Tell him to wear a full face helmet. Helmet's for safety's sake, and he might believe you. But if your assistant is as lovely as mine, you won't mind looking at her face as you start these big circles. Each time you go around, you want to tighten it up just a little bit, till eventually you'll get to where you can put the pegs right on the ground. You hear that scraping sound? It should be music to your ears. It says, I've reached the limit of the lean angle, not to go any further. You want to find your bike's lean limits at 5 miles an hour, not at 50 miles an hour when rounding a turn, I guarantee you. That's the wrong place to figure this out. And once you get that down, you'll be ready for the elusive U-turn on the side street. So many people have a problem making a simple U-turn. Anybody here want to admit? Put your hand up now if you're having a problem making a U-turn. I'm not going to make fun of you or anything, but put your sissy over there. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Now, for the other folks who are not putting their hand up, you might be misunderstanding me, but when I say having a problem making a U-turn, if your U-turn looks like this, this is a problem. It ain't supposed to look like this, folks. If every time you drop below 20 miles an hour, you're suddenly transformed into a little girl who just took training wheels off a first two-wheeler, I'm telling you, folks, people who know how to ride are looking at you and laughing. People who do this, I call them members of the Foot Draggers Riding Club because it's such a big club. Oh, you see the foot draggers everywhere. You might even be a member of the Foot Draggers and not realize it, but if you wear your shoes out before your tires, you're a foot dragger. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. And I know some of you want to check the bottom of your shoes right now and see if they're bald, but you're embarrassed. That's okay. You can check them later.